content team, and I'll be moderating the session for today. So before I start the session, I would like to announce and inform everyone that UNIQLO is giving away 5 vouchers worth 100 ringgit to 5 selected people from the audience. So to win the vouchers, simply wait until the end of the quiz. Simply wait until the end of the session for the quiz session, and the fastest respondents with the correct answer will win. So easy. And to those who are watching, you are highly encouraged to drop your questions and feedback in the chat box, as our speakers will be answering the questions live during the session. So we'll start off the session with a video on the introduction of fast retailing and UNIQLO Malaysia. Enjoy. So I hope everyone enjoyed the video. As you've seen in the video, this session has been categorized into 2 different programs. So program 1, which will be on working in retail stores, and program 2 on debunking a myth of working in retail stores. So with that, let's get started with program 1. We have 3 young leaders for this program, Amanda, Omar, and Marini. So speakers, can you introduce yourself to the audience? Maybe we can start with Marini.
Hi everyone, my name is Marini. I joined UNIQLO in 2019 as a UMC, and I'm currently a store manager.
All right, thank you, Marini. So what about you, Amanda? Can you briefly introduce yourself to the audience?
Hi everyone, my name is Amanda. I joined the UMC program a year later in February 2020, and I'm currently a store manager as well.
Right, thank you. And Omar, would you like to
Hi, my
introduce
name is
yourself?
Omar. I joined the UMC program, same as Marini, in January 2019. I was in KLCC as for the UMC program, and then later on, I was the store manager at Berjaya Times Square. And earlier this year, I was transferred from Berjaya Times Square to the headquarters in PJ as store operation support.
Okay, thank you, Marini, Amanda, and Omar. So since the viewers here are here for the UMC program, and all of you started your career as UMC, can you share with the audience what is the UMC program about? So, Marini, would you like to start to answer for this question?
Sure. So the UNIQLO program is basically a globally recognized program where in each local country, a year-long intensive training is provided to train up young working professionals and also university fresh graduates with the necessary skills to become a store manager. So in UNIQLO, being a store manager is just a first step towards becoming a global business leader, which is essentially what we're looking for. Yeah. There is a lot of stigma and maybe not so much of understanding about what a store manager does. And it's not just as simple as holding the key, opening the store, closing the store, these kinds of things. No, it's not so simple. It encompasses many aspects that you will learn from the business planning, managing your own team, hiring, and so much more to solve problems from a company-wide perspective on a global scale as well. So perhaps more on this later we will talk on to explain further. But in short, we are looking for global business leaders, and the UMC program is a training program that helps to generate a business leader.
Okay. Sorry, go on, Amanda.
In addition, we were also given the unique opportunity to gain different knowledge and also experience on how you can run a retail store business through their on-job educations, where you will learn while working in the stores, and also off-the-job trainings where you receive training from the training departments as well.
Okay, thank you, Marini and Amanda. So I have a question for Omar and Amanda. Was there a difference between your expectation of the role of UMC versus reality after joining the program?
Thank you, Danya. Well, to be honest, there was a slight difference in my expectation before taking on the role as a UMC. And actually, at that time, I was expecting something more like the other management trainee programs where you'll be a bit more tasked with more office or desk-bound tasks. However, being a UMC is slightly different. You need to master the fundamentals before handling more managerial tasks. Do not be surprised that as a UMC, we initially tasked with things like cashiering or handling our customers, or also cleaning, which some might consider to be slightly of a lowly job. However, this experience certainly very valuable and important, and will also strengthen our understanding of what the company is about and also the company's values.
Okay. Sorry.
Coming from a retail background, where actually I worked in UNIQLO previously during my university time, there's not much differences compared of my expectations and also the reality after I joined the program actually. When you first join in, like what Omar has mentioned, you need to go through all those basics such as cleaning, mopping the floors, folding the clothes, serving the customer, and of course many more. I strongly believe by being a manager, you will need to have all those strong basics on how to operate a retail business in a daily basis. And that is what I already expect when I first joined the program, and I'm ready to take up all these challenges and master it before becoming a manager.
Okay, thank you. Okay, that's good to know. So what about you, Marini? Was there any difference in your expectations?
All right, thank you for asking. Actually, for me, in terms of my expectation towards the program, no, there wasn't much difference. The experience I wanted coming into UNIQLO as a UMC was all of this. from the very basics to understand all of that, because I don't think anywhere else I would get this opportunity to really learn the work from ground up. And I think to become a manager one day, I would need to be able to plan for all these things. So it is best if I experience it myself first. And I think it's a very humbling experience as well, that each part of the job is equally important and everything really adds up to a much bigger picture. So yes, it was not so much different.
Okay, thank you, Marini. So hearing from all on the UMC program, I believe a lot of what everyone does on daily basis in store revolve around having good teamwork. So Omar, maybe you could tell us about how you engage with your team to achieve exceptional results to overcome challenging situations.
Thank you, Danyang. So I believe the key to building a great team is trust, basically, and also respecting each other. So maybe let me give you an example. When I was working in KLCC, it was one of the busiest stores in Malaysia. So unlike most common perspectives, in UNIQLO, manager's task is not limited to just ordering or instructing other members. Actually, this applies to the whole business as well, maybe in headquarters also. So let me get back to KLCC. So as a manager, we need to be more hands-on and understand the actual situation and subsequently try to find solutions with the team together. So you don't just give instruction, but you actually work with them. So for example, when I was in KLCC, UNIQLO Malaysia just started rolling out the RFID system. So it was quite new for everyone at that time. There were some manuals and also some guidelines, but understandably, it was very new. So everyone was quite fumbling around, especially our team. So instead of just giving out instruction, we as the UMCs at that time, we took the lead in figuring out and also leading the team in using the RFID system, which was used to look for our products, basically. From there, we actually saw many challenges and also difficulties of using such system, which wasn't really stated in the manual. So it resulted to some of the team not wanting to use it. However, being UMCs, with hands-on experience, we were able to understand the problem and also come up with viable solutions at that time, and also share best practices with the team also. So this helped them to understand it better, and also were able to use it efficiently. In the end, as opposed to everyone finding as just another task, it made everyone see that it make their job also easier. So situations like this actually helps building trust and also respect from the team. Especially also during that time, my senior store manager at that time, Ken and Jun Hong, also were very hands-on. And with their help, we managed to achieve results which were significantly better than what we expected. Just in case you were wondering, my senior store manager Ken is on his assignment in Singapore as a store manager there also now.
Okay, thank you, Omar, for sharing, your experience, as a UMC and store manager with the audience. So it's, definitely wonderful to hear that even working in the retail store, UNIQLO places, importance in supporting employees and in their career development. So how about you, Marini? What was the biggest challenge you faced as a UMC?
All right, thank you for your question. So for me, I actually came from a background in psychology. I had zero experience in retail, zero experiences with anything related to business planning. So this whole thing was a challenge on its own. Yeah, having no practical applicable skills coming into the job. But I believe, as many of our viewers today as well, you may have similar concerns, such as I did when I was in UMC, which is you maybe came from engineering or architecture and so on. There's so many types of education out there. Don't worry about it, because the UMC program, it has many types of trainings, but the two I will touch on most significantly is the classroom training, which is provided by one of our departments here in the company. And aside from that, we also have many manuals. Now, I know that Omar has mentioned that the manual failed him at the time, but honestly, as a UMC, what we learned at the time was mostly the systems in place. If you learn that, you can adapt this knowledge across the stores, even across the world in the UNIQLO company. So in that sense, the learning is quite global, it's quite standardized. And if you cannot keep up with, let's say, your classroom trainings, you have the tools necessary to catch up with the progress on your own as well. So I think that this was very crucial for me personally, because I totally utilized the manuals at the time to solve a lot of issues and to just learn a lot of processes on my own. Of course, along with the help of my team as well. And so to some extent, the manual doesn't fail. It is just a new system that, yeah, sometimes we have to work as well to figure out, constantly problem solve and help as a company as a whole. So aside from that, one thing that really kept me on track was having monthly evaluations with my manager. So this is basically a performance check. So as a UMC, you'll be given a certain set goal, right? Like when you want to hit to become a manager. You yourself may have it, or sometimes your manager might set it in place for you. Now, for this, to know whether you're progressing correctly or not, because when you first start, honestly, it feels like you're doing everything wrong because everything is so new. Having this really helps you to not be so self-critical, and also it helps you to see, are you really going onto that path of becoming a manager that you want to be? Are you acquiring the necessary skills to get there? Yeah. So having these check-ins was also very helpful for me to know where I stood. And aside from that, I just want to mention that this UMC program, it recruits top-tier talents. So that goes without saying that there is competition. But in my case, when I was hired in 2019, I was hired with quite a big batch of UMCs. And thankfully, it turned into a healthy competition where we actually supported each other. And the aim was for all of us to get promoted together and become store managers together one day, maybe to manage the same store, be in the same area and whatnot. This was our goals together. So until today, my UMC batchmates are one of my strongest support system. One of them is Omar. Yeah. So this to me was a very nice experience that I enjoyed with this company.
All right, thank you, Marini, for sharing. So what about you, Amanda? What's one of the challenges that you had to face while being UMC?
Okay, thank you for the questions. Actually, that's very true that I really agree with Marini. There is abundance of resources provided by UNIQLO, which has been very helpful throughout my UMC journey, actually. And the entire UMC journey actually was very supported by my store manager at that time, who is Miss Kun. She really guided me throughout the whole journey from point A to point Z, where she closely mentored me to become a very independent assistant store manager. She also created a very comfortable environment for me to ask a lot of questions, for me to learn from my mistakes and how I can improve from them. And one of the very important points not to neglect is that we cannot rely only for what company can support us, but we need to have our own initiative to set goals and timeline of what we want to achieve. So at that time, when I first joined the program, I actually set a goal for myself to become a store manager after a year. And after a year later now, I'm a store manager. And this really thanks to the company itself for all the opportunities given, and also HR team for all the continuous support for me to being able to meet up with the new roles and also the workplace adjustment.
Okay, thank you, Amanda. And, of course, to Maria and Omar too for sharing your experience of, being UMC. So before we end the program, I have a couple of questions that I want to ask, regarding all the experience that you guys have gone through. So you've mentioned that, during the program, you had to do all sorts of tasks, including cleaning or the cash register, mopping the floor, serving the customers. And did you have to do it at how long did you have to do it for? And was it only at the beginning of the program? Is it just throughout the program? So, Omar, maybe you can share a bit.
Well, actually, those tasks were only assigned at the beginning of the program. I mean, obviously, you would have to learn the basics in the beginning of the program, but it's start to say you have to do it, but in the end, you would want to do it also, because being part of the UMC program where you are a leader, and we always believe that a leader leads by example. So not only would you, not to say you would do it every day, but you also maybe join your team and doing tasks like that all the time. Even when I was a store manager in Times Square for 1.5 years, something, I keep on still having to support the team in like cashiering and in the early morning where we clean together. So it definitely helps making a good team if you continue doing those things.
Okay, thank you, Omar. That's good to know. So I have another questions. You've mentioned that you guys have provided manuals to refer with, in case you need to refer to anything. But what exactly were the manuals about? What were they on?
Okay, perhaps I can answer on this. So as I mentioned earlier, we have many systems set in place. For example, we have to create many things in UNIQLO schedules. We have to set inventory. We have to, basic things like learning customer service, how we should speak to them, the procedures of cashiering, the procedures of checking. Literally, all the procedures is in the manual. Yeah, the only thing that is not in there is probably the soft skills that you will need to pick up as well, because some things you cannot teach. Every team you end up in, the people you work with, now that's a little bit different. Of course, there is some basic guidelines of mindset as to how you should handle the situation in UNIQLO. That, to be honest, also has helped me a lot, but that's not a manual per se. Yeah, so the manual is just strictly more for procedures and basic understanding.
Okay, thank you. So, okay, I have another question, like last question before the end of the program. So was it necessary to perform the general, yeah. And okay, since you've mentioned earlier that you were required to perform the general task, because even as a store manager, sometimes you'll still have to do it, to guide your team. So what values did it teach you in the beginning as UMC?
First is to be humble, because everything starts from humble beginnings. It is just like if you had your own house, the most basic thing you want is a clean environment, right? So why do you want a clean environment? To be comfortable in, right? So when you have a store, why should you clean your store? Why should you make sure it's clean? Why do it yourself? You do it yourself because you learn to really appreciate such a small thing to start your day. It just starts your day. And then you prepare it for the customers who will come in. It's an experience you want to give them. Even things like when we do cashiering, when we fold the clothes, why are we doing that? I don't think that it really matters, the task especially that we're doing. So if you're focused on like, oh, I don't want to do folding clothes, I don't want to cashier, I don't think that's the point. The point is we do this for a reason. And even as managers, when it's really busy, let's say it's a really busy period and everywhere it's messy, there's so many people in line. Are you not going to jump in and support your team? Yeah, you're not always blessed with a very large team. Sometimes when you work in smaller stores, there's only like 3 or 4 of you, and one is probably in the fitting room handling 10 customers, one's at the cashier, one serving another 5. It gets busy. So what do you do then? You cannot just stand there and be like, you do this, because you don't have anyone to tell to do anything. So you have to jump in and support your team as well. And remember, at the end of the day, you're achieving something together. Managing a team is not just like giving orders, but you're actually working towards the same goal. So when you do that, these things won't really bother you. And going through the whole part at the start of UMC to learn to cashier and learn to fold clothes is because later on, maybe one day you will hire someone in your store. You have to teach them. If you don't teach them, then who will? How are you going to make your team work for you, or work with you? So these are the questions you should think about a little bit more, yeah, instead of the task itself. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Marini. So maybe Amanda can share like a few values that she's learned from, doing the general task as UMC.
I think overall as a UMC, what I really learned in UNIQLO is that you really need to work as a team. You need to build a strong trust with your team, regardless of who they are. Maybe they are just normal staff or they are your superiors, but you need to build a very good communication skills. And this is what UNIQLO always emphasizes is how you can grow together, but not by individual development, but growing together as a team. That is why UNIQLO always emphasizes how you can develop people. And that's one of the responsibility of being a store manager is how you are able to develop your team. People development, talents found in UNIQLO is because of this. So the value we learned in UNIQLO, there is of course a lot, but most importantly is you need to learn how you can build your trust with your team, create the environment together, and work together to achieve the same goal that your store wants, your company wants, and also for the values of the whole company as a brand.
All right, thank you so much. So we've reached the end of program 1. So thank you so much to all 3 speakers for the insightful session. We've learned a lot from all 3 speakers today, and we hope this session have helped, to paint a clear picture of what your near future may look like by joining the UMC program. So once again, thank you, Marini, Omar, and Amanda. So now we will continue with the next program, which is program 2, debunking myth working in retail store. For this program, we have 2 experienced leaders from UNIQLO, Li Ting and Kate Tang, to debunk myth on working in retail store. So maybe we could start with the introduction. Li Ting, could you briefly introduce yourself to the audience?
Hello, good morning, everyone. Nice to meet you all. My name is Li Ting. My journey with UNIQLO started in 10 years ago. It was 2011. At the time, I joined UNIQLO UMC program. So our terms that everybody may be familiar with is the management trainee program. I was excited to be assigned to Fahrenheit 8 because it was the Malaysia's very first store. And as my career progressed, I had opportunities to be involved in the opening of subsequent stores like One Utama, Mid Valley, Chera Central. And through all these opportunities given by the company, I was able to solidify my experience and also skills required as a store manager, which come in very useful when I was transferred to KLCC as the general store manager. And after 4 years working in the store, my career shifted to the headquarters, where I started my journey with the inventory control department and moving on to merchandising planning. And finally, here I am today in the e-commerce department overseeing UNIQLO Malaysia's online business.
Okay, thank you, Li Ting. So what about you, Kay? Can you introduce yourself to the audience?
Hi, good morning. My name is Kay. I joined the UMC program in April 2012, actually just a year after Li Ting joined. So as mentioned by Li Ting, in the early years when UNIQLO first landed in Malaysia, newly hired UMC are mostly placed in Fahrenheit 88 store, and that was my first store. So actually 9 years forward, after experiencing the pure store operations career path in different roles from UMC, assistant store manager, and area manager, and even in many different regions, including East Malaysia, Johor, Ipoh. And now I'm currently the store operations Malaysia for UNIQLO Malaysia.
All right, thank you, speakers, for the wonderful introduction. So it is definitely my pleasure today to be part of today's session, speaking with UNIQLO's young business leaders. So the career path of UNIQLO is really fascinating after hearing from both self-introduction, where both started as UMC and in less than 10 years, both are holding the lead position in their respective areas. So kudos to both of you. Speaking about the myth of working in the retail store, there's always been this saying that working in a retail store is all about, folding clothes, and one is not able to gain any skills. So Li Ping, since you have the experience on, the both sides of the world, working in the store and the HQ office, could you share with us your thoughts about these statements?
Thank you, Dania. I could understand the point of view from general public as my parents shared the same thoughts. However, my parents' view started to shift as they see their daughter Me grow, especially in the soft skills areas. So the store actually is a very good platform for a fresh grads like me to build our communication and especially customer service skills. As on daily basis, we interact with different customers and also diverse team members. So generally in stores, the members are actually younger than HQ, as the HQ members are having a prior working experience before joining UNIQLO generally. So hence, the communication method actually requires a slightly different approach. So with the interpersonal skill that developed from the stores, actually this enables me to better guide and also manage my team, especially when I progress to a more senior position in the HQ. Next would be more on time management skills, because in stores, there are so much and abundant of important tasks and goals you need to achieve in a limited time. So here I learned to how I can prioritize the tasks, and also which helps me a lot in my time management, which is something I find useful when my career shifted to HQ. And on top of that, most importantly with the practical knowledge like sales floor, layout planning, and also product display formation together with the soft skills, it has provided me a solid foundation for me when I moved to HQ. And in UNIQLO globally, we have a term for HQ, which is SSC, stands for Store Support Center. Different from other retailers that actually stores receive direction and instruction from HQ, but in UNIQLO, it's the other way around. So store is the core of the UNIQLO business, and HQ, they will provide the support to stores through, for example, knowledge transfer, advisors, marketing suggestions. So therefore, for fresh grads who are keen to join UNIQLO, my advice is for them to begin their career in the retail stores.
Thank you so much, Li Ping, for the very detailed explanation. So, the next myth to debunk will be, how do you balance personal life and career? So, Kay, would you like to take on this?
Thank you, Dania. I think when I decided to join the UNIQLO UMC program, actually my parents were also very surprised with the career choice, given that I'm also a university graduate with a bachelor degree. So they actually expect that I can have a decent 8 to 5 job working and a comfortable desk-bound office environment. So, and additionally, they also concerns from my family and friends, where I will be spending lesser time with them, as retail industry requires a long working hours and even work on weekdays, weekends, public holiday, and shift duty. Okay, but however, actually, it's quite same with the doctor professions. They are also required to be on standby 24/7. And same goes to the auditor, where at times they are required to work graveyard shift. Okay, so for me, the work-life balance are pretty much depends on how an individual manage the time. And I always believe time management is the key to achieve a work-life balance. Okay, so how we use the time we have determine the work-life balance that we maintain at each day. So although at the beginning of the 1-year UMC program, you may not find it an easy journey, but the situation will improve as it will be not last forever. Okay, so but what I want to mention here, most importantly, we ourselves, we need to know how and what kind of role that we need to play, and having a very clear sense of goal and missions, accompanied with the passions to work in the retail industry.
Okay, thank you, Kay. But yeah, I agree with you. Everything is all about balance. We're finally down to the final question for this program. So is there any career progression in the retail company? Maybe we can start with Li Ping.
One of UNIQLO Malaysia main pillar, as mentioned by Amanda earlier, is the people development. So as part of our training and also mentoring program, HR actually will organize a series of the session throughout where the employees are encouraged to discuss with their leaders about their future career path. Based on the employee's intention and also working performance, the company actually works with the employee to consider about their future career opportunities with the presence of our flexible career path, which is the store member can be transferred to HQ. Same goes, HQ member can back to stores. So based on my personal experience, I had a chance to participate in a lot of overseas trainings, business trips to US and also Hong Kong, Shanghai, and even Tokyo. So one of the key programs that I would like to highlight today is Future Global Leader Program, which called as a FGL program. So where the company wanted to develop the young global leader to lead the customer business, provided with all sorts of trainings and also experience. So I attended 4 meetings annually and in different countries, and it was totally an eye-opening experience. Another one is ASEAN business trip. So there were 8 of us that we went to San Francisco for 7 days a week. So we were given a chance to work in the flagship store and we exchanged ideas, sharing best practice and also some challenges from different regions. So overall, it was a very fruitful business knowledge transfer session. And also, as Omar mentioned earlier, Ken was his store manager, and he is also my same batch UMC batchmate. So we joined the company at the same time, and also currently he is supporting UNIQLO Singapore business as a general store manager. So everyone has the equal opportunity to work overseas too. From HQ perspective, at the beginning of each new term, goal setting are actually discussed between the employees and their leaders. And this allows everyone to have a clear direction on key projects that need to focus and also achieve within an agreed timeline. So in terms of performance evaluation, there is a standardized promotion and evaluation processes for all employees. Yeah, that's great for everyone.
Okay, thank you, Li. So Kay, is there anything that you would like to add to that?
Yeah, allow me to add on more. The 1-year UMC program actually provide you the opportunity to become a UNIQLO store manager, which also your first experience on the route to become the future business leader in UNIQLO. So exceptional managers will also receive their career opportunities to strengthen the business skill and leadership, whether it is in local or the global appointments. So basically, you'll be guided and supported by our experienced store manager while working in the store. And of course, as mentioned earlier, there will be a series of classroom training provided by the training department. So in addition with the in addition with the performance based evaluation, which just shared by Li and Marini, so store employees are actually being evaluated on a monthly basis using the standardized evaluation criteria. So this also enables companies to identify and support the employees in the area that require improvements. So for me, myself, company also give me a lot of opportunity to participate in special projects. It's very much similar with Li. We have I'm participate in a project called Mirai Project and also NGL, with also known as Next Generation Leader Program. So basically, all these programs are serving these similar objectives where the company we discover the talents who are anticipate to create a future for a fast retailing group for the next 10 or 15 years, and giving the opportunity to take the challenge from a global group perspective. So together with the management team, the HR and training department, company will also identify each individual strengths and weaknesses and support their development through the program. So even though I'm just having pure store operation career path in these years, but through such kind of program and assignments, I'm actually able to acquire a lot of skills and knowledge in different fields and gain more insights about the business as well.
Okay, thank you, Kay. So I have another question for the speakers. So being in retail, what are some other common myths you have encountered? So maybe Li to start first?
Perhaps people generally, they will look down on retail. Maybe they thought it is just like sales promoter as a general term for them. But actually, we can learn a lot of different skills, soft skills, which help us further grow into a better person, not only a leader, but a better person. So there are a lot of things that you couldn't learn from your university time, your school times, which when you enter to the real world, which retailing is the fastest way for you to grow into a better person, because you interact with all sorts of customers daily, and you learn how to be patient, you learn how to serve the best service to customers, and you think from their point of view. So general myth could be more on maybe they thought it doesn't require a lot of skill, but actually, in fact, it requires a very, very skillful person on how you can handle different kind of customers. So it actually trains your response and also a lot of soft skills needed. Yeah, I would say that. Thank you.
Thank you, Li Ting. So what about you, Kay? Is there any other myth that you've had to counter?
Basically very similar with what Li Ting is mentioned. So basically a lot of the time we think that we can't learn or even get a very clear career development in retail. But just take me as an example. When I newly joined as a UMC, I never expect that I will need to learn about like profit and loss. I need to learn about how to train staff. I need to learn about merchandising. So basically all of this, what we call it unexpectedly learning are being gone through since the UMC life until when I'm the store operation manager now. So it changed my life a lot, because not saying that I know about this kind of like hard skill, but it also helped me in my personal life as well. For example, like just now Li Ting mentioned about time management. It is also helped me in managing my time during my personal life so that I can do what I really want to do in my personal life and job. So that's some of the new learning from this company.
All right, thank you so much, Kay and Li Ting, for sharing your experience as like experienced leaders in UNIQLO. So that marks the end of program 2. But this session doesn't end here. So we've received like many wonderful questions from the floor. So we'll try to answer as many as possible. So the first question, we've received a question from Tul Carmen. She would like to know what was the most memorable experience, of working in UNIQLO. So Omar, maybe you would like to start first.
I think the most memorable experience when I was UMC was one of the things that we were tasked to do was stock take. So this one required us to stay overnight, which I didn't really expect, to be honest, at the first time. So, it was very memorable for me because we were having a lot of problems at that time. Like I was saying just now, we were having a new system, so it was the first time doing it. So imagine at 2, 3 a.m. We were with the team together and figuring out things where others were sleeping. So it was quite a very memorable experience for me, and it also taught me a lot of things about teamwork and also like working together, achieving one goal.
Anyone else would like to add in, to share your experience, wonderful experience of working with UNIQLO? Not wonderful, like memorable experience.
Hi. Perhaps I can share as well. So basically, I had many memorable experiences in UNIQLO, which including the NGL program that I mentioned earlier, which is the Next Generation Leader Program. I had the chance to meet many leaders from other countries. We learn from each other. Even now, we are keeping in touch with each other to catch up what happened in the country and work together to solve, even though we are in a different country, but we still work as a team in UNIQLO globally. So another memorable experience that I have is when I was the area manager in East Malaysia. So basically, East Malaysia, when the first I went to East Malaysia, when I've been assigned to East Malaysia as area manager, I'm kind of surprised to see the overall culture and the environment in East Malaysia are so different from West Malaysia. And this experience actually changed me a lot, changed the way I think, changed the way I see the business. And because even the characteristic of the customer in East Malaysia are very different from West Malaysia. So through these 2 years experience in East Malaysia, it actually improved a lot in my business skill and business mindset. And I really appreciated my boss to suddenly assign me to the East Malaysia, which at first I'm kind of like worried and would like to reject, but I can't. And now I really would like to say thank you to my boss for pushing me to East Malaysia, and it is really very memorable, and I learned a lot, and this really changed the way I work. Yep.
Yeah, that's such a wonderful story. So, okay, so the next question we have from Najiha Adiba. So she would like to know, how would you, handle a difficult employee, or how would you handle an employee who is struggling? So do you go check them, check on them one by one, or call up for meetings so that everyone can voice out their opinions? So maybe we can start with Marini.
Yeah, sure. For difficult employees, well, I think anyone who is difficult usually has some underlying reasons for being that way. So the first thing is to find out why. Yeah, is it something they're comfortable with telling you? Is it something you can kind of give them advice on? Well, first thing, yeah, you do have to approach the person and sit them down and try to get them to talk it out. But if they don't want to talk about it and it's something very personal, I think that what you can do as a store manager is first have some empathy towards a struggling person, but second as well, set kind of like a certain timeline for them. For example, if someone comes into store and is having a bad mood because he has a situation at home that he cannot solve, then perhaps I would say, try to reorganize your thoughts again. What can be solved and what can you control and what can't you control? And maybe within this round, how much of time do you need to actually solve it? It's a case by case basis. So maybe I would give an advice like, maybe in this 1 week, try to do this and see how that goes for you. Then maybe you won't feel so, so tied up. And after that, just, come back when you're at work. Just let it go, just leave it. We're in a different place now. So you don't have to bring that with you as well. This is a place where you don't have to think about those things that bother you as well. So that's how I usually handle people who are going through difficult issues, by providing an ear, by giving any guidance if I can, and also to check on them frequently. Yeah.
Thank you, Marini. So what about you, Amanda? How do you deal with difficult employees? Is it the same as Marini, or do you have your own way of dealing with the issue?
Okay, basically for me, it's quite similar with what Marini have just shared, but I really think it's like what I just shared in the previous sections is we need to build the trust between us and our members. So with the trust, they will eventually open up to share with you what is not only the work's difficulties, perhaps their own family difficulties, and how you as their manager can guide them or provide them the support. Nevertheless, like the difficult employees that you have mentioned, we also do have this monthly evaluation system, as we have mentioned earlier by the previous speakers. And we have this monthly evaluation interview sections to evaluate and discuss with the members their progress, their improvement points, and how what is the countermeasures or the actions we can take in the upcoming months to improve the current conditions. And as human beings, we do understand when your superior understands you, cares about you, and willing to support your development. And I think all those sort of difficult members will eventually grow and work more professionally together with you and wanting to develop for themselves. Because I think everyone looking for a career is for own self-development and also for a better career path in the future. So they care for those who care. So if we are able to provide the care, trust, and build the team together, eventually all those we label as difficult people will be the one who you will surprisingly see them giving you the best support and build the best team with you along the journey.
I just want
Thank
to
you,
add on
Amanda.
to,
Okay,
I just
sure.
want to add on to that point. Actually, like what Amanda mentioned, right? I don't think anybody shows up to work deliberately to do a bad job. You know, I don't think this is true. But maybe sometimes, you know, when the person doesn't see your point, doesn't understand why they must do something as well, you know, aside from having issues, they might just be difficult because they don't see the point. Why should I do it your way when my way is better? You know, this kind of thoughts. And it's difficult, honestly, as a manager, because we are shifted from different stores and we always have different teams who have been taught differently. And, you know, although essentially we should be operating the same way, still, these are all individuals we're dealing with very different thinking as well. So I would say that, and I just want to mention this since we're all quite young, right? All our staff are also young. So you cannot scold them like children, you know, you cannot put them down. You have to find a way to take balance, to speak to them like human to human and have that touch in order to solve anything really. And of course, at the end of the day, perhaps we as managers will have to be the bigger person, take a step back and really think, why is this person being difficult? Is it just because they're set in their ways? Is it because they think they want to achieve the same thing, but they think that their way is, you know, perhaps better or the more sensible one that resonates with their own values? So these are the differences usually that we face as managers that result in having difficult team members. Yeah, but I believe it is solvable through communication.
Okay, that's interesting. So thank you for sharing. So moving on, we have a question from Matthew Sim Chi Kim. So what have the most value, customer service, sales, or brand image? Anyone would like to chip in?
But allow me to chip in on this one.
Okay.
It's a very simple question actually. What is the most important? Well, to be honest, the most important factor will be the customer service, because no matter what aspects, it all comes after customer service. So basically, your sales comes from your customers, your brand image comes from your customers. So basically, it's a very straight question. Customers would be the most important thing.
Okay, thank you, Omar. What about you, Liting? What do you think is the most important? Customer service, sales, or brand image?
Yeah, actually, customer satisfaction is our topmost priority. So for whatever action we have, for example, from merchandise we buy in, so we decided what is the best for Malaysia customer, including a modest market that we are prioritizing compared to other countries. So we do what is the best for customer. So in terms of sales floor, we want to provide the most comfortable environment for them to shop, like bookshop. You go in and help yourself because you just pick what you like and you just pay directly. So this is one of the key concepts that from since the beginning of UNIQLO have started, because we want the customer to enjoy the most comfortable shopping environment. So we do have some experience, I believe you do, like when we go to some stores, there are some sales retail associate are following you. Actually, the intention is good. They want to provide the immediate service whenever you need them. So they just follow you all the way when you're looking around, browsing around the store. But in UNIQLO, it's slightly different that we train our store staff in the way that whenever the customer needs, you immediately show up. We don't follow the customer, but we just wanted to provide the best customer service. Whenever customer needs us, we are just right there. So this kind of customer satisfaction is the final goal for our company, because whatever we do, including cleaning, as mentioned by Omar, we want to provide a clean environment. The second one is the customer service, like alteration service, like the very fast cashiering service. I believe a long queue in cashier is very frustrating and it might hinder the customer away. So of course, we are trying the best for the cashiering service, and we set a guideline to have a very fast transaction speed so that customer can enjoy the checkout system as fast as possible. Then third thing is the product selection, which we do it in the store support center. So we will check out all the customer voice and their reviews and also their requests. Then we will try to request from the Japan HQ site to provide a best merchandise for Malaysia market. So overall, once we achieve the customer satisfaction, of course, sales, gross profit, everything come in. And of course, the brand is already chopped in customer mind. So they will think that, oh, this is the #1 fashion brand that I wanted to go and whenever I want to shop. Yeah, that's what I think.
Okay, so basically what you're saying, it's all about, customer satisfaction. But what about, difficult customers? Because I've heard all the time about, the retail nightmare stories about customers causing scenes at the stores, being difficult, being fussy. So how does UNIQLO deal with that?
Well, I believe there is not really many difficult customers. I mean, customers don't really come to store looking for trouble. It's just, I would say that it's only because customers have something that they want that was unanswered. For example, they're looking for something, they're looking for service that wasn't provided. So at UNIQLO, we try our best to address this issue. I mean, we don't really say, oh, this customer is bad or not. It's actually, the first thing that we are trained for is what could we do for them? So basically, I think when you say difficult customer, it's basically something that they want that they didn't have yet, or something they need that we haven't provided yet. So the bigger question is, how can we provide those things? So basically, that's how we would address those issues.
Maybe I slightly add on. So we always believe that customer will not simply just complain, but they really want us to support, to help them to resolve some of the issues that they encountered. So for UNIQLO, customer complaint, we will take it as an opportunity. So this will be an opportunity for us to acknowledge what is the lacking in our products, in our service, and even our business. So we will see it as an opportunity, learn from the complaints or even some of the feedback from customer, and turn it to a better UNIQLO service or even better products for customer. Yeah.
Yeah, allow me to just add one more small point.
Sure.
Actually, why customer want to have some of the suggestion or also inquiries or complaints, because they have expectation. So I believe mainly because we already have a group of fans, UNIQLO fans. So of course they have high expectation from the brands that is their favorite. So one of the example is when I was in KLCC. So I have a customer that complain and create a scenario in the sales floor. So of course, we understand her needs is to exchange even after 30 days. So currently our policy is within 30 days, but some customers actually have some, for example, they are just overseas, just come back. So that's why it exceeded the 30 days. So once we actually identify the issues and we actually can deal it with different, like we don't strictly follow the law, but we understand the core and we adjust it from there. So once we meet their expectation, I think it's very important for them, because they will think that, oh, my favorite brands actually can meet what my demand is. Then from there, they can continue to become our fans and even word of mouth and share to their friends about UNIQLO. So it's very important for us.
Thank you so much. So we have a question from Muzairi Emir. So as you know, all the speakers have mentioned, no. This question is specifically for Marini. So, as you've mentioned in the beginning, at the early stage, you feel like you did everything wrong since you were new to retails at that time. And yeah, then he's pretty sure that you overcame the situation well. So he would like to know, what is your advice to the new candidates, especially that have zero knowledge and experience in retail?
Okay, thank you for the question. Yeah, like I said, I know it's a concern, but I would say don't be afraid to make mistakes. This is a growing process, and coming in as a UMC, everyone understands you're like a newborn baby that needs to learn. You're a sponge. So, of course, you will make a lot of mistakes. Everything you will make mistakes, but don't take it too hard. Don't take it home and feel like, oh, I'm such a failure. I can't even do such a simple thing right. These kind of thoughts, they're very negative and very toxic for anyone's growth. So if you make a mistake, learn from it. Learn from it, move on. That's what I would say. Just have that kind of mindset. Everything is, the best teachers are sometimes failures. So don't be afraid. Yeah, don't be afraid. And like I said, like at the time I had UMC batchmates, right? So I started out in Mid-Valley, and I started out during around Chinese New Year, one of the busiest times of the years. And me and 3 other UMCs, we were there together. So we were failing together. We were, sometimes when our superiors would tell us off, we all just faced it together. And at the end of the day, we just tell ourselves like, it's all right. Tomorrow is a new chance. So let's get it right. Yeah. That's my advice to you. Just don't overthink it. Don't overthink it. Just take it as it comes.
Yeah, that's very good advice. I agree.
Can I add on a bit, just
Sure,
a bit
of
for
course.
the UMC program? So I was thinking about you were saying about failures in the when joining the UMC program, right? Actually, I still remember that during my time in KLCC, actually my store manager said to me that during these UMC programs, it's actually encouraged for you to make mistakes. So like in a way, you learn best when you make mistakes. Of course, some are more critical, some are less, but it is very important that he said that during this UMC program that you learn from those mistakes. Yeah, those are the most valuable things that you can learn actually during the UMC program.
Yeah, that's why for me, this was a humbling journey, because you have to admit to yourself, I really don't know anything. Yeah, you go through uni, you probably passed with good results, somewhat, or maybe very good results. And suddenly, just from being so good at something, you're not good at anything, and that might take a toll on some people's confidence even. But it's okay, because you're failing along with all your batchmates, so it's all right.
Great advice. So, okay, we have a question from Chan Shi Young. So in terms of performance evaluation, could you share some of the indicators on how UNIQLO assess the performance of the store manager? Would it be, sales target, a turnover rate, or, other things? Maybe Amanda can answer for this question.
So basically for UNIQLO, the monthly evaluations, the most important sections for me personally think is the customer service. We have in different criteria, different aspects, customer service, and of course, different like what we call as the sales and stock plans and many etc., which is more in detail when you join us. Definitely we'll get to know more. But in this whole entire series of evaluations, I think the most important thing is the customer service. And I think that is the part where if you are really giving your 100%, giving your whole warm heart to serve, and then how we can really prioritize our customers, then that is the part where we can really get to score, not only scores, but you can demonstrate the very good values to your employees, your fellow members as well. Because like we always say, UNIQLO is equals to service. We want to provide the best service to customers, provide the highest, to the highest expectation beyond what they want. This is what we are always working on it. And that is why we always having established even the store surveys for customers to fill up through our applications to give us consistently feedback on our customer service in store. or even the products that they purchase online with the review, so that we are actually able to know what is the highest aspect that they want and how we can achieve beyond it together with the SSE team and also the stock ops team. So this evaluation sheet is not just a sheet for you to like what you want to score, but it's a sheet for you to provide you the guidance, like a manual. This in order for you to be able to develop stronger in UNIQLO. What are the criteria we need to fulfill as a business leader in whole, as a future role model to the new batch of UMCs or the new batch of the normal staff that they want to become a store managers in the near future as well. So these evaluation sheets come from different aspects and how we can utilize it, learn it and master it to show a great demonstrations of what UNIQLO customer service is all about.
Thank you so much, Amanda. I know Akila would like to know if it is necessary for all the staffs of UNIQLO to wear UNIQLO apparels. Does anyone would like to address her curiosity?
Yeah, UNIQLO staff in the sales floor always wear UNIQLO because we are like the walking mannequins to the company to display the latest fashions and how we can dress because UNIQLO is a lifewear. So basically, lifewear brands, we always emphasize on how you can mix and match to create the best look in your daily styling, from casual to smart casuals or even formal, how you can do the different layerings and demonstrations of styling through the comfort of UNIQLO products. So in UNIQLO, we are the walking mannequin to the customer to display, because sometimes even customer will go to certain stuff. May I know what items you are wearing actually? And then can you share with me what is the benefits of wearing these items and this? If we don't wear the items and do it by ourselves, how will we explain the product uniquely to the customers?
Okay, that's certainly true. So thank
Can
you.
I add on this a bit on this one?
Yes, of course.
So when I first started joining, right, I was also concerned about this. Do I really have to wear all UNIQLO? But like Amanda mentioned, yeah, you are the walking mannequin, and a lot of people actually do ask what you're wearing. Why do you wear it? What is so nice about this material that you're wearing it? So of course, it's good that you're wearing it. But also one thing that really came into my mind was that at one point I didn't want to wear anything else. I mean, I was already understanding what UNIQLO products was all about. And it was something like a very special discovery for me that I noticed that I didn't want to wear anything else. So that's why I wear UNIQLO, basically.
I would just like to add on a little bit more. Omar basically wears black shirts and jeans every day. There is nothing else that he wears. But you know, UNIQLO is all about lifewear, and we have good basics. So someone like Omar would be our target demographic. You know, he would know what each t-shirt functions as, which jeans is good. You know, but it really builds a connection between us and our own products. That we know it better, and even for ourselves, what do we want to change about it? And this is what we are trying to know as well from our customers. You know, so who better than the people who wear them themselves? And for your information, whenever we plan for merchandise and all that, like Li Ting mentioned just now, actually we collect customer voices, and who does that? It's actually our staff. Yeah, and they themselves, they can also put in their own opinions in order to improve the existing products, to further tailor it to current trends, and also to tailor it to what they want as a Malaysian customer. So yes, that's why we need to wear it. And just think of it this way. Imagine one of your staff wears H&M or any other brand, and someone asks, where can I get this item? And your staff is going to say, you can go to H&M and get it. There goes your sales. So, you know, it makes sense that we have to wear our own clothes. But yeah, don't worry about it. Even if you might feel UNIQLO is not really my style, what do I do about it? Well, initially when joining as well, UNIQLO was not really my style as well. So now I live in men's shirts, and yeah, you know, it's a mix and match. So you will find your own comfort within the company. There is always something. Yeah, I just hopefully you will get to explore that soon.
Thank you. for addressing her curiosity. So Muhammad Azhar would like to, ask for opinions. He's a certified data analyst with 10 years of experience. So he's just curious to know if UMC is the best place to, to start to join, and how can he use his skills in UNIQLO.
Actually,
okay.
Oh, yeah, maybe Liting can answer.
No, it's okay. Anyone can start. Anyone can answer.
Well, I feel this actually resonates a lot with me also, because I came from a very different background. I started my education in mechanical engineering, and to be honest, I was very, very good in mechanical engineering, and taking a leap into UMC was a really like a moment that I was, how to say, very important. Like, I was wondering if I was doing the right thing or not. But to answer your question, all the skills that you have acquired previously, actually there is a place for it in UNIQLO. In fact, we have our own data analysis department also, where we analyze a lot of data. Certainly these departments do need special skills and also certain knowledge that you have. For example, when I was doing mechanical engineering last time, I was wondering what would retail environment have for me, and it turned out there was a lot. So in fact, things like such as even coding, like computer language, you also have some place inside the company. So I hope that answers your question.
Perhaps I can add some additional points. So yes, as you have a very good experience in 10 years in data analysis, is a very valuable access. So for UMC wise, I think it's best if you can start begin your career in UMC program, because you get to know directly from store front end to customer, because data is what we collected behind, which we can do all sorts of analysis behind. Yes, we do have the CRM department specialized on this data, big data analysis. But I would suggest actually you can go through UMC for a year plus. From there, actually, we have the all sorts of Malaysia Challenge program, which you can request to transfer, as I mentioned earlier, from store to HQ. So with the prior experience and knowledge you earn from sales floor, it definitely helps you when you transfer to HQ. So this would be my advice to you, to the questions.
Yeah, thank you, Omar and Liting. So let's move on to the final question from the audience before we move on to the quiz session. So Afiq Azmuddin would like to know if there are any good piece of advice or tip that you could share with the audience in order to prepare for the UMC program. So Kay, do you have any like advice or tips to the future UMC candidates?
Basically, from me, I will say that you need to be really passionate in retail industry, because like what we shared earlier, it is not just that simple task like folding clothes or just serving customer, but it's more than that. So first of all, you have to be really, really passionate to the retail industry. And maybe still many people would think that, joining UNIQLO, then we might have a lot of chance to, go to the HQ department to get a global assignment. But just to let everyone know that also, so before going to that stages, for us, we will still need to go through the store manager experiences. So that's why if you are, really keen to join UNIQLO Malaysia UMC, you have to have the mindset that you will have to go through the whole UMC process together with this, learning together with the staff, learning about the store manager task. Then you can also only consider to towards the next stages, which is like either in the headquarters or even the global assignment. Yeah, that's some of the advices from me.
Thank you.
I would just like to add on a little bit, like for new UMC starting, For whatever reason you have, whatever your reason is to choose to join the company, just remember one thing. Whatever you do, you must have some passion in it. So even if you may not know much about what UNIQLO is about yet, or you don't know much about retail, it's okay. Focus on your journey. The journey is the fun process, usually. Of course, it's a bit stressful when you are always failing, but that's the fun process. So focus on it. Don't keep focusing on just like, oh, I want to enter headquarters in 1.5 years. And then, you will not enjoy your journey at all because you're so fixated on that. And then you start to question, oh, why must I know this? Why must I know this? Why must I know this? So just remember that, like what Li Ting shared earlier, the headquarters are called SSC. It's more like support. We are not a top-down company, and store is the core of everything you do. So as a UMC and a future store manager, you hold such an important role. So don't forget that, like the purpose of why you started this journey. And second thing would be, every company, our company included, we have many values, missions, and principles. Go through it, find things that you can resonate with, and make this the core reason why you do your work every day. Then no matter what difficulties or challenges that you face, you will be able to get through it. Because fundamentally, there is something that's keeping you grounded. Yeah. So that's my advice to you.
Can I on just a bit more? So basically, my advice to all the graduates that would consider joining UNIQLO Malaysia, my biggest advice is that to spend a bit of time and try to understand the core ideals behind UNIQLO. So basically what UNIQLO is all about. That really certainly helped make me decide to join UNIQLO actually in the first place. It was because the ideas and the principles and the goals that UNIQLO worldwide was trying to achieve was something that I really wanted to achieve too. So if you have the time, please do spend a bit of time, go through the internet and look up what UNIQLO is basically about. You might be surprised that you might actually resonate with most of that.
Thank you so much for the wonderful advice to the future candidates. So okay, so as I've mentioned at the start of the session, UNIQLO is giving away 5 vouchers worth 100 ringgit, and to win, you will simply have to participate in the quiz, which starts now. So you can just simply submit your answer in the chat box, and the fastest respondent with the correct answer will win. So make sure you just hit the answer button quickly before anyone else in order to win the vouchers. So I'm just assuming that everyone is ready. So let's get started with the quiz session. So the first question is, what is the corporate statement of UNIQLO? I'll repeat the question again. What is the corporate statement? Remember, the fastest respondent with the correct answer. Come on, guys. 100 ringgit worth of voucher.
Okay. What's the answer?
Wait. Yes. Oh my God. Okay, so we already have a winner. And the winner for question number 1 is Marcus Tan Ziwei. So congratulations, Marcus, and UNIQLO will be in touch with you for your 100 ringgit voucher. So let's move on to the second question. So what is the name of UNIQLO Malaysia first physical store? Come on, this is easy. I mean, even the speakers have mentioned it during the explanation. So I'll repeat the question again. What is the name of UNIQLO Malaysia first physical store? Okay, so we already have the winner for question number 2. So the winner for this second 100 ringgit UNIQLO voucher is Nia Kurniawati. So congratulations, Nia. So the first UNIQLO physical store is actually UNIQLO Fahrenheit 88 at Bukit Bintang. And I forgot to mention earlier, the answer for question number 1, the corporate statement is changing clothes, changing conventional wisdom, and change the world. So let's move on to the third question. So in which year did UNIQLO Malaysia launch its e-commerce online business? I'll repeat the question again. In which year did UNIQLO Malaysia launch its e-commerce online business? This is the third voucher. So we have 3 left to be grabbed. Okay, so the winner for the third voucher is Muhammad Akmal bin Hamim. So congratulations, Akmal. So UNIQLO will contact you for your voucher. And if the audience is wondering, in which year the e-commerce online business was launched in Malaysia, it was in 2014. So 3 down, so 2 vouchers to go. Question number 4. Where is UNIQLO Malaysia first roadside store located? This should be quite easy too, because everyone was talking about it when it was first launched. So I'll repeat the question again. Where is UNIQLO Malaysia first roadside store located? Not that many vouchers left to be grabbed now, so fastest respondent. Okay, so the winner for the 4th voucher is Lim Chun Kit. So congratulations, Lim Chun Kit. So as I mentioned earlier, for the other winners, UNIQLO will be on contact with you for your vouchers. So the first UNIQLO Malaysia roadside store is located at Damansara Avenue Square. So do make sure to visit the store. So, okay, so we're finally down to our last question, which means, the last voucher to be grabbed. So make sure you're on standby. Don't forget to press your enter button. So the last question is, how many existing stores are there in UNIQLO Malaysia? Last question, last voucher. How many existing stores are there in UNIQLO Malaysia? Let's check. Oh.
Okay, got it.
Okay, so the winner for the last 100 ringgit worth UNIQLO voucher is Darren Lim Sheng Wei. So congratulations. If you guys are wondering, so UNIQLO Malaysia has 46 stores at the moment. So congratulations to all the winners, and Team UNIQLO will be in contact with you for your vouchers. And thank you everyone who participated in the quiz. It's okay, I mean, they're better luck next time. So just remember to join UNIQLO's future webinar session, to win vouchers. So, okay, so that's the end of our session for today. But before we close the session, I would like, maybe all of the speakers can, say like last few words to all the audience and the future candidates of UMC. So I think we can start with Kay.
Okay. Thank you for joining for today, and all of us are waiting to see you all soon in UNIQLO Malaysia, and let's join us and let's work together in UNIQLO Malaysia and succeed the business together. Yep.
Okay, what about you, Li-Ting? Yeah.
Hi, we are welcome you all to join UNIQLO to grow together to be the #1 fashion brand in Malaysia, and even we are looking towards to be #1 in the world, because now we are at ranking #3. So come and join us, because we are very young and very happy company, and we all are very passionate on our business. So let's grow together.
Amanda, would you like to say anything with to the audience?
Okay, hi. Hopefully to see more passions, talents, and also heart in this kind of retail environment. And definitely, if you are a team oriented working person, please welcome to join us. We are definitely happy to see all those talents in the future in the UNIQLO business.
So Omar, any last few words?
Well, UNIQLO and also UNIQLO Malaysia has very big goals ahead of us, and we need a lot of talents and professions actually from different backgrounds. And I really hope that we can work with all of you in coming future. Hope to see you guys soon.
And last but not least, we have Marini.
Okay, so firstly, thank you guys for listening to us for so long. I hope you managed to pay attention. But aside from this, I wish you all the best. I hope that the information we've given you today is sufficient for you to decide. But yes, we would really like to work with you. I would really like to see you soon as well. So I hope you join, and all the best. Stay safe.
All right, so that officially marks the end of our session for today. So thank you to all of our speakers for giving such valuable knowledge, and to everyone for the active participation. So if you're interested and think you have what it takes to be part of this global organization, apply for the UMC program with them now via the link in the chat box. And do note that the application closes on 8th December, so hurry up. So thank you once again for tuning in with us. Have a good weekend and stay safe.